travelers. We are with you today. I am Mandy Horn of the Traveling Compass, and with me I have Laura Elmore of Global Dream Vacations. And today we are talking about where you can stay on property at Disney World Resorts. This is the question as Disney specialists that we get a lot, and we're really excited to break down our favorites, our insider tips for you, and what's right for who. So if you are thinking about a future Disney World trip, we will tell you 2021 packages come out next month. We have a list going for clients that need help planning, and that is in part why we are talking today about resorts. So welcome, Laura. Thanks for being here. Woohoo! So you are a Disney grandma.
Yes.
But you how many times have you been?
6, I think.
Yeah. So where have you stayed when you've gone?
Have stayed at the Caribbean Beach and Grand Floridian, and those are the only two that I've actually stayed in. I've gone to all of the different resorts and have seen them in person, but I kind of find the ones I like and go back.
You have good taste too, so why not?
I say, we're going to try something different, and then somebody in the group will say, oh, but we know that one, so let's go back to it. So you kind of get certain ones you love.
Yes, absolutely. And if you're watching from home or catching the replay, in the comments, go ahead and leave us where you like to stay when you go to Disney World, because we would love to hear where other people enjoy staying. It's always fun to hear why that's your favorite. So today we're talking about resorts, and as a company, we typically recommend Onsite, staying Onsite at Disney, which is what we're going to focus on today. Maybe you could kind of break down for us a little bit, Laura, like why Onsite at Disney? Why is that something we recommend?
Well, I personally really appreciate that it is such a simple experience. Disney is the world-recognized expert on customer service. Everything they do is superb. And so by staying on site, you have the opportunity that from the moment you get to their bus at the Orlando airport until they drop you back at the Orlando airport, you're in their hands and having their care and service the entire time. I also love the convenience. A lot of people don't realize how huge Disney World is, and it's the size of Manhattan Island. So it's not like you just quickly pop in and out of the park. Being on property means you can use their transportation from the resort to any of the parks, and that runs like from early in the morning till late at night continuously, so you can always get to or from where you want to go. I also appreciate the fact that when you're staying on property, you get earlier access to the dining and fast pass reservation. And those are two big keys to really get the maximum benefit and enjoy some of the best that Disney offers. If you're not staying in a Disney resort, by the time you're allowed to get into the reservation system, frankly, the best ones are probably going to be gone. Mm-hmm. So those are my main reasons for preferring staying on Disney site. That and the dining plan. And I know we're going to talk about that another time. I love the Disney dining plan, and you have to be staying on property to utilize that.
Yeah, and in addition to that, you get magic bands with your stay at an on-site property. And for people who are not used to magic bands, they're an RFID chip bracelet that Disney gives you that will also act as your room key. But they will also auto-load your park ticket on there, as well as your fast pass selections, credit cards. So basically, you can go completely electronic. Like, you don't have to be carrying a credit card. You don't have to be carrying those things in the park. And that comes with your stay at an on-site property. So it just becomes, like you said, extreme convenience to be on-site at Disney. And I know, as I've talked with clients too, like what you said about fast passes, I don't know for people that aren't super familiar with Disney if they really realize how big a deal those are. Because other theme parks, you can just show up, right? It's just not that big a deal, and Disney planning is so extensive going into it that those fast pass and dining selections really can make or break some of those big experiences. If you don't want to spend 4 hours in line for some of the latest and greatest things and you want to use them as a fast pass, the only, like, personally, what I've seen with my clients, probably even more so in the last 6 months, Disney changes all the time. So people who've even been a couple of years ago or 4 years ago, I've been telling, like, look, I've not been able to get things for my offsite clients. You know, if you're thinking Flight of Passage, Avatar's Flight of Passage in the Animal Kingdom, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, the new Star Wars ride, Slinky Dog, all of those are hot ticket fast pass items that honestly I've not been able to get most of the time for my offsite clients. So if those rides, and if you can't go for days to stand in line, Onsite is going to be your, I mean, if you're going for 10 days, you know, okay, great, you know, go stand in line for 4 hours. But if you're not, if you only have a limited amount of time, Onsite really helps you maximize that in ways, or those really important dining reservations, Cinderella's Royal Table, all of those that can be gone, honestly, within 30 minutes of opening. Some people 180 days in advance. And Onsite really helps you get those. So it's why we always recommend on-site stays, because they really do maximize your trip and they have additional benefits. And even then, I think some people don't realize, like going to Magic Kingdom, the parking lot is not next to Magic Kingdom. Like, you have to go, get there, park, and then take transportation to Magic Kingdom. So it's not maybe as quick and easy as if you're used to a Six Flags experience or like that. It's a much longer process to get in and out of the parks and in and out of the parking.
And the convenience too of being able to hop back and forth from the hotel to the park. We talked about this last week. Especially grandmother with younger children, sometimes on the trip, being able to go back to the hotel in the middle of the day is key for them and for me. And, you know, the older kids and other adults can stay in the park and we'll come back and meet them. But because we're on property, it's very easy for us to get on the monorail or on the bus, get back to our room, take a nap, cool off, and then return to the park. And like you said, you don't have to worry about finding a parking place and getting the stroller in and out of the car and all of those details. It's so much simpler, and therefore we enjoy our evenings. When you young kids, dragging them around the park, sooner or later they're going to wear out, and never mind if the adults do. And that's not as enjoyable an experience. So, and there's such a wide diversity of lodging available on Disney. There's so many varieties and price ranges that I really think there is something for everyone, regardless of their budget, that they can have the convenience of staying on site.
Absolutely. And that's such a great segue into, I mean, so there's 3 main categories for Disney hotels. Could you give us like a rundown, like quick overview? What do you know, the three types?
The names they give them are the value, moderate, and deluxe. And basically, the names kind of say it all. The value resorts are the more basic in what they offer. The accommodations are comfortable. They are lovely. They have the basic amenities. But the value resorts are going to be further away from the primary parks. There's going to be more transferring back and forth to the parks involved. Also, the value resorts, typically, they only have a food court. Now, so you do have a place to get food, but it's not a sit-down restaurant. It's not a la carte type restaurants. It's a food court like you would find at a shopping mall. And so those are kind of the pros and cons. You're saving money, but you'll be spending more time going back and forth to the parks. And for anything other than just a food court meal, you'll be dining somewhere other than your hotel.
And most of the rooms sleep 4, too.
I'm sorry?
Most of the rooms in a value resort sleep 4.
Yes, and that's the other thing about it. Thank you for reminding me of that. Now, the moderate is the mid-range ones, and these are, as you expect, a little step up. They do have restaurants on site, and they vary from like Caribbean restaurants on site to Coronado, which is the new, totally redone one, has 6 restaurants. Mm-hmm. So they're going to give you more options to have meals in the convenience of where you're staying, but it's still not, for the most part, it's not the dining experience like Chef Mickey's or the character experiences that people typically want as part of their dining. The other thing with the moderate, again, there's less transportation options. You're pretty much going to be using a bus. Or the nice thing is, with the addition of the new Skyliner, which just opened last fall, the Caribbean Beach Resort and Coronado, you've got the ability to use the Skyliner to go to Epcot and Commonwealth. So that's given one more option for transportation, and that helps.
Yeah, and the others, now, a lot of the others have boat too, like Port Orleans has boat.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot Port Orleans has the boat. Okay. And and then again, the room sizes for the majority of the moderate ones are going to be a maximum of 4 to a room. Now, the new Coronado Resort does have what they call casita, which are the highest room category, and they hold 6 to 8 people. Mm-hmm. So there is a possibility to get those.
Well, and I think Caribbean and Port Orleans and all have sleeper 5 options after the refurbs.
Okay, now see, Caribbean, when I looked it up today, it said 4 max, but maybe I overlooked one of the room categories.
There's a new, they have a whole separate category for it with the 5 sleepers. So there are still 4 sleeper rooms, but they do now have that capability, if that room type is available, to do 5s.
Good. And when you have families, like with my family, we've got, when I go and take my son and daughter-in-law and their 2 children, we're trying to keep it to 1 room. Mm-hmm. And 5 of us will fit in certain room categories at certain resorts. And that's why the occupancy matters to us. Now, the top level of room is called deluxe, and as the name implies, there are just some nicer amenities there. You're going to have far more restaurants. You're going to have 5, 6, 8 restaurants on site to choose from, and a couple of those restaurants are going to be the upscale dining experiences, or the like a contemporary. You have Chef Mickey's. Yeah, which is one of the favorite things, because you get all the basic. I mean, Polynesian has Lilo and Stitch breakfast. There's some special things that they offer. The other thing with the deluxe rooms, they also add room service. And that's a nice amenity sometimes to have for breakfast or late night. And none of the other resorts have that option available.
Some of the moderates have room service.
I'm sorry?
Some of the moderates have room service. Values don't.
Yes.
You cut out for a second, sorry.
Coronado does.
Yes, Coronado has it.
Yeah, and that's the newest one. So, but the deluxe ones, across the board with every one of them, you can get, depending on your room category, you can get 5 to 8 people in rooms if you get a 2-bedroom suite at some of the deluxe. So while the cost is higher for the deluxe rooms, obviously, the additional amenities, the nicer pools, the nicer restaurants, the expanded transportation options, the deluxe have bus, boat, several of them have the monorail available, and those are nice additions to the transportation options.
Yeah, I'm going to bring up a picture here of the contemporary for people to see with the monorail going. The contemporary resort has the monorail go right through it. So for those train-loving kiddos, They really get a kick out of that. But for people not super familiar with Disney, being on the monorail gives you basically direct access to Magic Kingdom. And you do not have to go through as much transportation to get there. There's three deluxe monorail resorts: the Contemporary, the Polynesian, and Grand Floridian that run that route. And from the Contemporary, you can actually, if you're feeling fit, you can walk to Magic Kingdom. So for people with, we often recommend it for people who have littles with them, who have little kids, because it's so easy to get in and out with the monorail or come back for a nap, or grab one of the character dining experiences that are available at the deluxe resorts, or some of the special things they have, like the new Bibbidi Boppidi Boutique in Grand Floridian. If you can't get into Magic Kingdom, that is nearby at Grand Floridian if you're staying at those monorail resorts, and it makes it really easy to get there.
And the nice thing about the monorail, too, with littles is, and you cut out a minute ago, so if I'm repeating, I apologize, but that I really appreciate is that you don't have to collapse strollers. Mm-hmm. That if you've got young children, you can roll them right in on the stroller, and that saves a lot of wear and tear, especially on Grandma, who's not as good at doing the strollers as Mom and Dad are.
Yeah. Well, Disney, I think, I saw a statistic one time, it's an average of 10 miles of walking a day. So, like, some people don't realize, like, I'll actually warn people beforehand, like, hey, if you're not used to some walking, you might get out a little bit before you go, because it is a lot of, walking. So, monorail looks really nice at the end of the day. When you just want to get back and you're tired and hot, the monorail is great. The other thing about deluxe resorts, too, we sell a lot of luxury travel. We love luxury travel. We joke how I'm slightly spoiled by luxury travel. And one of the things, like, I'm going to bring up a picture here of the Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yes.
It's truly the decor, the feel when you walk in, it is really different. A lot of them have the two-story sky, or the multi-story big great rooms when you first walk into the lobby, and it really is beautiful. And after a long day at the park, coming back to that kind of experience is a lot of fun. It's truly restful, and for those who appreciate beautiful surroundings and hotels like that, the deluxe resorts really deliver on that kind of concept.
Yeah, and like at Animal Kingdom, you can get rooms that are overlooking the animal park. Mm-hmm. So you're in. I've been to Africa, and when you walk into the Animal Kingdom Lodge, you look around and feel like it doesn't feel like a cheesy version of Africa. Yes. The restaurants there serve true African cuisine. They serve chicken nuggets too for the kids.
That's the great thing about Disney.
Yeah. But it really feels like you've stepped into a different world. The Grand Floridian, which is one of my favorites, you've got the old world charm of, the 1920s resort, that there's music playing in the lobby and a beautiful skylight with stained glass, and just has this wonderful, you feel like you've been enveloped in a different experience. It's funny to me, because even with our two youngest grandsons, when we stay there, it's like going into the lobby, it's like they change. It's just like they have that sense of, oh, this is nice. Yeah. And
I always say it feels like royalty. Like, that's such a great resort to me for little girl princesses, or like, because it feels like that when you walk in there.
Well, and I lost you there on that, but yes, and our little boys love that. Like, the live music is so nice. We'll go and sit in the lobby for a little while in the evening just to enjoy the live music. They've got all kinds of lounge chairs sitting around in areas that you can just sit and visit and enjoy and feel like you're in a different atmosphere. And I love that about all of the Disney resorts offer that. The deluxe ones offer it at a little higher level. than some of the other ones do.
Yeah. And like when we talk, and Disney really, like when I talk to people about staying on site, it's like really, Disney really does have something for everyone. And so when I talk to someone, and you're a Disney specialist as well, like who you put where, like what's perfect for who. I would say like value resorts are really great for that family that's looking for a lot of value. I mean, honestly, they're named well, like to get all the amenities, all the benefits of being on site. But they're, to me, people who stay there, what I hear my clients say that like those resorts is, we're not going to be in the room. Yeah, and if you're one of those people that's like, I don't care what the room looks like, the experience is a little bit different at the value resorts in that like the rooms have exterior hallways. So what we might think of as a, motel kind of experience with the outdoor hallway kind of for those value resorts. But if I hear for all the time, I'm not going to be in the room, I want to be in the parks, the value resorts are then a great place for families like that.
Yeah. And it is, as you said, the value is the key. Price-wise, it's comparable to some of the less expensive options off-site, and you have all of those benefits of being in Disney that we've already discussed.
Yeah, absolutely. And then moderate resorts, like they really offer such a different range of fun, I think, for different families in that, I'm going to pull up, one of the things about moderate resorts is they do have I'm going to pull up a picture of the Caribbean pool, and you've stayed there, because they really do up level on their pool experiences. You get the water slides starting at the moderate level, and the theming, I think, kind of goes up a notch at the moderate level. And so for guests who are looking for a little bit of, like, I talk to grandparents, who are like, I want a cool experience for my grandkids. I don't want it to just feel like a hotel. Well, the Caribbean has a whole pirate theme, right? Port Orleans is where I love to put people who are looking like my quiet, laid-back, genteel families. Very much like Port Orleans, I'll put a picture of that too, has that romantic southern flair. I love it for honeymoon couples. It feels different. You've been transported. Disney does that so well in their parks, but they also do it at the resorts. And I feel like if you're looking for those specialty transportive experiences, they really start at that moderate level. So if you want something different, I think that's a great place to start for those families who maybe don't want to totally go deluxe, but I still want that wow factor. I feel like that is who loves moderate resorts.
Yeah, and they're a mix. Some as far as like having the exterior entry, Caribbean Beach, Port Orleans, you've got the exterior entry rooms, whereas Coronado, it's all interior. So again, it depends on the feel that the individual wants, and I've done both, and there's pros and cons both ways. And to me, part of it depends, too, on the park that you want to, or the parks that you're going to spend more time in. And that's part of what I look at with clients, too. Okay, with younger children, you're probably going to be more at Magic Kingdom than any other park. So maybe you want to be in a park that's closer to Magic Kingdom. If you've got teens, you're looking at Hollywood and maybe Epcot. And so maybe staying closer to those parks makes more sense. So that's part of the also determining who the audience is going to be and where they're going to be spending their time.
Yeah, and it's so big. I mean, we talked about this. Disney World is 49 square miles. When we say, which park do you want to be close to, it's like asking, which end of a major metropolis would you like to be near? Because it can be Disney tells you to schedule an average of 45 minutes to an hour and a half for transfer between parks. And so when we have clients who really want to spend, especially if they're park hopping, I know people who love Epcot, well, you can walk to Epcot from the Boardwalk Inn and from Beach and Yacht Club. It's tremendously convenient. And so some of our families too that want to like leave the teams somewhere and they want to go eat their way around the World Showcase at Epcot love being in those resorts, right? Because they can just walk back to their room, get something, grab something, whatever, and come out for the evening. Or it's very, very convenient for them. Or for our families that have younger kids who want to spend their time at Magic Kingdom, those deluxe resorts with monorail access are huge because it's so easy for them to come back for naps, to come back for a pool experience, to quickly get in and done at the end of the day when those littles are tired and totally shot. They are really, or to be able to get up and get a character meal in before we even get into the park. I'm going to get up, have breakfast with Chef Mickey, and have already met Mickey and not have to stand in line. That's huge for a lot of people. And so I think the deluxe are so key for people who are looking for that convenience factor and what kind of convenience to what, Animal Kingdom Lodge, so beautiful. I've stayed in one of their Savannah rooms, and like my kids literally would wake up, get out on the balcony, and watch giraffes while eating their breakfast before we would go to the park. That's something they'll never forget. I'll never forget seeing my son with his guide, because they put a little guide in the room of the animals that you can look for in the safari on the savannah, and he's pointing at them and showing them to me in the morning, like, short of flying to Africa, which I'm not going to do with an 8-year-old. Like, how cool is that experience for them and for him and for me to get to share that. And not only, and it's not just young kids, animal lovers come in all ages. So, I've seen grown adults who love giraffes or, whatever, or honeymooners who want that feel, to their day, those extra experiences. Disney really goes above and beyond. Like one of the things we experienced at Animal Kingdom Lodge was they had night goggles, night vision goggles sessions where you could, and they were just, it was part of staying there. Like you can just show up and they would have someone there with the equipment, show your kids how to use it, show them how to find things. And lots of the deluxe resorts have campfires. They have movies under the stars. That's at most of the resorts. There's these extra built-in experiences, different than an off-site hotel, that really bring that magic in, those magic moments that are hard to predict with your kids, whether it's seeing a giraffe from their balcony or, just the beauty of being in a different place or a really cool pool. I know the day we spent in the Animal Kingdom Lodge pool, my kids didn't get out. And Disney really does take it up a notch when we talk about that service. I think sometimes it's hard, if you're just looking at a website, okay, it looks like a hotel, like any hotel. I was so impressed at the pool, at the deluxe level pool, because there were rotating lifeguards. I've never seen lifeguards like this. They rotated, I think, every 15 to 20 minutes to make sure they had fresh eyes on the pool and they never got tired of the spot that they were looking at. And so they would rotate. Sometimes you see lifeguard pools and they're like not paying attention. They're listening, and they're looking at their phone. No, these people were on it. They were rotating. They were calling things out if they saw dangerous behavior. I've never seen actually that well-trained pool staff. And for me as a parent to know, because swimming's always hard. It's always dangerous. You've got little people. There's one of you. There's lots of them. They're all moving. You're trying to relax and make sure everybody's breathing and coming up for air. And to know that was going on for me as a mom was just absolutely huge. Or I know at a lot of the pools, I think it may be all of them, but a lot of them have life jackets. I know at the big value resorts, that Art of Animation, they all have life jackets at the pool. So if you forgot your floaty, they are on it for making sure that the kids can have a safe and fun experience. And as a parent, you're not then worried about all this other stuff. You actually get to go on vacation.
And at the deluxe resorts too, another one of the benefits that I know my kids enjoy more even than I do, speaking of the pools, the deluxe resorts, they all have a pool bar and grill. And they have food and beverage service right there along the pool. So as you're sitting and watching the kids and you want nachos or something to drink, you can easily get that. So it makes it more of a resort type feel that instead of, okay, let's go swim in the pool and then, okay, get out, we've got to go eat. You feel more like you're at a nice resort because they're enjoying the pool and you're still able to do these things. Another benefit on the deluxe ones that, again, depending on where you're staying, like at Grand Floridian, part of the reason we chose that was that we could see the fireworks every evening from Disney World. We could see it from the pool, and that was fun to float in the pool and watch the fireworks. Or we had Magic Kingdom view room, and I've got video of us standing on the balcony every night watching the fireworks and seeing them, the kids going, ooh, ah, and, you know, in their jammies. And then as soon as it was over, we were able to immediately go to sleep. So each of the accommodations has different pros and cons to it. And to me, that's part of the benefit of someone working with a Disney specialist.
Absolutely.
Is that part of the questions we're going to ask is, what parts do you think you're going to enjoy most? How important is it to be involved in these different activities, and then help them choose the one that is going to make it the easiest to participate? There are so many activities and so many options throughout all the parks. It's that putting together which ones fit us best and putting together that itinerary to then be able to not stress, not fret, and say, oh, tomorrow's the day we're doing XYZ. And today we've been able to see this, this, and this. And to have that convenience and comfort. I know for me, when I take my trips, even though I was the Disney planner, and my daughter-in-law has said multiple times after we've gone, oh my God, I am so glad I didn't have to deal with this. I mean, other than asking them a couple of questions about, would you rather do this or do that, they just leave it in my hands and then go and have a fabulous time.
Yeah. Well, and that tailoring, I think people don't realize. I mean, if you're used to a one-day kind of amusement park experience, planning Disney and tailoring it to a family really is an art. And it's those things that I know our clients don't think of, that we help them solve before they even get there. So like you said, like the fireworks from the room, I know I've had clients where I've recommended that because they have kids maybe that are noise sensitive or have some sensory issues or just can't take the kind of stimulation of being in the park with everybody around for the fireworks. You know, those rooms are great options for that. Or you know, I know I have a big group. They wanted to see the fireworks from California Grill. You can see them from the Contemporary Restaurant. And that was their only night that they were going to see them. And I said, you know what? It's great. It's fun to see them from California Grill, but you're going to miss the projections. Are you aware that you're going to miss the really cool projections during the show? And they had no idea that it was more than fireworks. And it would matter whether you were in the park or not to see them. And we ended up switching to a dessert party because that gave them the space and the cool atmosphere and the dedicated firework view. But they actually got to see the projections. And it was their only night to see it, so it didn't make sense to split. So there's so many things like that. I think that people think like, well, what do I need you for? It's those moments that we help create and those problems we help them think through. And like, are you aware of this? Do you know this? You know, it can't, and really positioning that in such a way that you have a better time than you even knew you could have. I think that's really what it's like to work with a Disney planner. You know, because we both have diehard Disney fanatic clients that have been time and time and time again, and they still use a Disney planner because we're on top of all the latest changes and we see things from a different perspective and deal with people every day to see it.
Well, and you said there's so many fabulous apps, whether it's dining table for a couple, or doing the pirate boat experience with little boys that is just magical, that you're with Captain Hook and on a pirate ship for the evening. And a lot of people don't even realize that some of these experiences are available. And to be able to, as you know, we've got an entire booklet of you can choose from, whether it's a dessert with the Star Wars characters or the firework party that you mentioned. There are so many things that can be added into it to make it additionally special. And that's where our knowledge and expertise comes in.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we're kind of wrapping up here. There's so many places you could stay that we would love to help you find the perfect one for you. In that, if you will look up in the description, we do have a link for you. You can not only get our cheat sheet for the parks as to what is available, but I will have a new resource coming out in a weekly newsletter this week that is coming out on Sunday. I have a brand new resort overview. And if you are loving this and you want that, go ahead and make sure you click on the link in the description and get on that email list. On that newsletter list, sign up for that. It will be coming to our subscribers on this weekend. So we'd love to give it to you to have just kind of as a takeaway from this. And we have really enjoyed getting to be with you, Laura, today. Thank you so much for being here and talking all things Disney. If you have questions, make sure you leave them for them in the comments so that we can help you and get those answered for you. You can always find us at myself at the Traveling Compass. You can find Laura at All Things Global Dream Vacations. And we are looking forward to your next Disney list. If you are thinking about going, now is the time to start planning, either for the rest of 2020 or for 2021. We will be making those reservations next month. So until then, thanks so much, Laura. Travelers, make sure you are traveling smart. We will see you all soon.
All right. Bye-bye.